Stars, it is Scotty the Chunky Spaniard. Welcome back to Round Like Me. In this new little segment, I was thinking there's a lot of new ideas, and as someone who misses playing music and misses being creative, I used to want to write children's books. I have a few children's books that I've written, a couple that I've illustrated myself very poorly, but I've always wanted to do that, and so my brain is always moving. And so I was thinking, man, there are certain things that have been popping up that have made me think of my past and made me think of when I was a kid. And so for Wednesdays, they have like Throwback Thursday and like Man Crush Monday, I think. There may even be a Wednesday. I mean, there's a freaking holiday every day of the week. It's like, it's like National Donut Day and National Talk Like a Pirate Day and National Sneeze on a Cat Day. I don't know. There's a day for everything. So this is probably not going to be something that's new, but it's new to this channel and new to you guys, my friends. So I wanted to call this When Things Were Simple Wednesdays and just kind of go back and talk about when things seemed simpler. If you're younger and you're watching this, there'll be a point in your life where you'll hit this nostalgia like wall. And you'll start thinking of all the things that used to be so good about your childhood. Everybody does it. Everybody looks back and is like, man, things were so much easier then, or things were so much simpler then. They're always simpler when we're younger because, I mean, like when you're a kid, you're not worrying about bills or gas money or a job or anything like that. And it happens to every generation. So I thought I would talk about my take on when things were simple. And for this first When Things Were Simple Wednesday, I wanted to talk about playgrounds. I know, a lot of the stuff that I do is centered around education, school, teaching. Well, that's because I'm a teacher. And so you talk about what you know. And I know teaching, I know music, and I know a little bit about sports. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff out there, especially about sports. So there's probably a lot of stuff out there about everything. But let's talk about playgrounds. Now, when I was growing up, playgrounds, I mean, that is your refuge from the reading, Where the Red Fern Grows, a great book, or doing spelling tests or math tests, learning linear equations, or you wouldn't be learning linear equations and have recess. That's ridiculous. But that was your place to get away. That was your decompress time. Now, when I was in elementary school, we had 3 recesses. We had a morning recess, a lunch recess, and an afternoon recess. And it was amazing. When I got into teaching, there was a morning recess, and then there was a lunch recess. Then for a few years there, our district tried to do away with recess altogether. Yeah, recess for elementary school kids, 0, unless the teacher wanted to take them out for a break. There were specific schools that said no recess. They didn't just give the option, they said no recess. If you're like me, my leg is shaking right now. I can't stop moving. Look at my hands, okay? I know, maybe I don't know what to do with my hands like Ricky Bobby, okay? But my hands are always moving. I talk with my hands. And I am always moving. I am a very, I don't know, it's that adult onset ADD that has kicked in. But playground was our time to have fun, play, all that kind of stuff. I remember getting to school early, and there would be frost on the playground equipment and the benches and things like that. And we'd go out in the frost and pretend like it was Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars was really big when Return of the Jedi came out when I was a kid, but I went back and watched the other movies. And we thought we were Luke Skywalker. Or I remember we even pretended to be the Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters. And that kind of stuff. Like you were Indiana Jones. It was the time where you could be creative in a realm outside of the classroom. And you got to hang with your buddies. And you got to mess around and, torment the girls. And there were injuries all the time. Things were simpler back then. Now there's wood chips. If there's not wood chips on a playground, they don't want kids to play on it. We had basically a dusting of sand on hard dirt. Okay? And you're always going to hear, that's the other thing, you're always going to hear older people talk back and be like, back in my day, we used to have to walk 15 miles to school naked in the snow. It was crazy. But it was like, the playground was not only a place of fun and adventure, it was also a battleground. Like we would have chicken fights on the bars where you would climb across, you know, the little jungle gym bars. We had in elementary, like when we were in primary, we had the metal dome. It was seriously like Mad Max in there. Like kids were falling off, breaking arms, doing all sorts of stuff. Like everybody had a skin knee, elbow, something every single day. And we survived and we lived. As we got older, when we got to the upper grade playground, we had this tower that was like something King Kong would have climbed. We're jumping off of that, doing all this kind of stuff. They've taken all those away. Those are gone. Do you remember the little giant saucer? I don't even know how to explain it. It was this giant metal round thing with handles, and you would run, and you'd have one buddy, everybody would get on it, one buddy that would run around in circles. And usually that poor guy ended up being dragged around, couldn't jump on unless you were super coordinated, and you'd be like, ah, like getting spun around on this giant disc that's spinning around. Seesaws or teeter-totters, gone. Okay? Swings. They've gotten rid of swings. And you want to know the primary reason? Too many kids were getting kicked in the head. Want to know my philosophy on that? If you get kicked in the head by someone on a swing, you deserve it, and you learned a lesson. Okay? There are life lessons. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what's going on. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Like seriously, if you're not good at chicken fighting, don't threaten someone to chicken fight on the monkey bars. Yeah. If you're not the coordinated kid that can jump on top of the spinning disc, don't be the guy that pushes. Delegate someone else. But things were so much simpler back when kids had more to do. Kids were more active. I see kids now, they just kind of walk around. There's always lack of equipment. There's always, you start off the year with like 15 basketballs, and by a couple weeks in, there's only 2 left because they've either been left outside, they've been popped, someone's taken it home with them. Equipment, they've gotten rid of tetherball. Tetherball, I was horrible at tetherball, but I still wish we had it. I was horrible at it. The coordination of hitting that ball, maybe that's why I could never be a boxer. I could never do that little like speed bag. Wanted to. I wanted to be Rocky. Yeah, I did. Okay. I wanted to be Rambo. I wanted to be Sylvester Stallone. We didn't even pretend to be Rambo. But things were so much simpler then. You can't pretend to have a gun. There was a kid several years ago that got suspended because he was eating a Pop-Tart at breakfast, at school breakfast. Teacher walks by, looks at the Pop-Tart. It kind of resembles a handgun. And they suspended the kid because a Pop-Tart resembled a handgun. Simpler times. You could pretend to have bows and arrows and guns, and you could sneak toys to school and take them outside and play with them, and if they got broken, it was on you. Parents weren't calling and emailing the school and suing him because He-Man broke his arm off. Times were simpler back when I was in school, and I firmly believe that. Now, being a teacher and looking at it, a lot less complicated. So, I think that's everything I wanted to say about times being simpler. Playgrounds were amazing. You had giant spinning discs. You had teeter-totters and seesaws. You had swings. You had monkey bars. You had domes of doom. You had towers of terror. Not the one that's gone from that one place down in Southern California. Probably not allowed to even say that place. It's probably like that one football game at the end of the NFL season that you're not allowed to say because it's trademarked and stuff, you know. But I mean, like, if I had a really large bowl of cereal, that would be super. You know what I mean. Okay. Or a land that was created by a guy whose last name happened to rhyme with Wisney. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The one in Anaheim. Because that's the true one, you know. But thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for always coming back. I appreciate it. We've reached more people than I could ever have hoped for. And I hope it just keeps growing because your comments, connecting with you guys on Instagram and here and elsewhere it's just so cool to me, and it's fascinating. And people that I talk to that don't still understand YouTube, I tell them that I get to talk to you guys and all the different places you're from. And you know, I'm talking to people from Saudi Arabia and people from Germany and people from like literally all over the world. I think there was someone from Colombia and like Peru. It's just mind-boggling, to quote Will Ferrell. Okay, it's unbelievable, and just super stoked that you guys are on this journey with me, that you tolerate this chunky Spaniard, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So remember, conquistadors, to be a better person tomorrow than you were today, and I will see you next time. I don't know what's going to be coming out next after this one. It could be a yeah, nope. It could be a Storytime Sunday. That's one that I'm thinking of. Or it could be another, you know, When Things Were Simple Wednesday. All right. So, take care. See you later.